Johnson, and this is Focus on Liberia. Hit it! From Kemau to Cape Palmer, mountain back to Atlantic Ocean, Obomi Hills to Pocondre, to educate, elevate, and promote. Talk about home affairs, in diaspora, current affairs, reliable information, history, talking about culture, politics, education, entertainment, business, sports, advertisement, articulation. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. From Monday to Sunday.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It says Focus on Liberia. We are focusing on Liberia. If it comes to current events as it relates to Liberia, we are on point. And with me are some of the brilliant minds in Liberia. They talk about politics, engineering, society. You name it, we talk about engineering. You name it, we have it here. A Focus on Liberia. On point. If you have a subject matter, we have expertise in almost everything that you're talking about. We talk about STEM. We have the two best brains in the areas of engineering and science. Mr. Tawo is here, Jimmy is here. So you want to talk about engineering, you want to talk about fixing stuff, you want to talk about issues, we have it. We have the answers here. We have the expert, not just talking heads, expertise. And we would like to put our show, our panelists, our hosts against your host, wherever you come from. Spoon, bring it on. There is nowhere, period, that have the expertise that we have. So when we say we're on point, we mean it. Let me welcome my co-host, Dr. Jimmy. I call you Doctor because you are so well-versed in your area. Mr. Jimmy Eastman, how you doing there, sir? Welcome.
Glad to be on with you fine gentlemen. I hope we educate, illuminate, and give our brethren something to hope for. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And in Houston, I have Mr. Joseph Tawo. Mr. Tawo, how are you doing? And how is Houston?
I'm doing very good. Houston is okay. It's just been raining on and off. But I'm glad to be here. Been away for a while. And I'm glad to be here today.
Thank you very much. And our own good old doctor, Dr. Fidel C.T. Booty. You see how the man from the Southeast, you see they get long name and title. When you check his party, he got about 15 pen lined up, all colors. He's a professor. Are you doing that, Doc?
Well, first of all, Mr. Tower needs to let us know where he's been for the past few weeks, right? So we can't just let him come back in here without telling where he's been. Some of us been worried about him, and so we need to know. But it's great to have him back.
The man was running from Trump.
Whatever he did to Donald, maybe when the B-2 bombers went in the air, they all had it, but they're all connected to the Iranian people. But anyway, look, it's great to be here. Hopefully, we're looking forward to another good show. And yeah, glad to have you back, Mr. Tower.
Thanks.
Listen, I give those of you or those of us that come on these shows every Sunday religiously to serve our people. It is not an easy thing to do. It is not. Look, you have to make the commitment in your schedule away from your families, your friends, and things that you love to be here every Sunday to give out your expertise in what you know and what you do. This is why our followers always in the comment section, most of them, especially one particular guy, will always thank you for your work. Fix Electronics always says that. Thank you for what you do. You could have done anything else, games like us today in the Miami area. Football is not too good to us today because they beat us like we stole something. 4-1 with Messi and all that big mouth we're making. They make us to understand that American soccer is not up to the European level yet. You can have Messi on your team, we'll beat you. And that's what they did. They beat us 4-1. So, gentlemen, welcome. Let's talk about the issues. Asata Dawson, thank you very much for watching. We got Steven Johnson. Thank you, Steve, for watching. We appreciate you coming on with your whatever comments you have, whatever topic you want to discuss. Just join in, send it in, and we will discuss it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen, this is the week in review. We're going to discuss everything that happened during the week. And if there's any breaking news, we'll break in and bring it. But let's look at some of the subjects that have been making the headlines in Liberia. President Walker attends the funeral of the late President Samuel Doe and the First Lady Nancy Doe in Zwedo, Grand County. A lot of news around this, a lot of drama. Listen, Liberia is a different place. Can you imagine from the time the First Lady died until her burial, in fact, until today, people are talking about who stole the body, who attempted to steal the body. I mean, you name it. Yeka Koluwa is on the other side, Bud Naked on the other side. What was interesting, Bud Naked, from what we understand, they say he was an evangelist. But yesterday he decided not to use his title as an evangelist. He went back to his warrior mode. He's a warrior. He's going to fight. Then Yeka Koluwa towards the southeast. Are we seeing something more significant than what meets the eye? What will encourage Yeka Koluwa to carry hundreds of motorbikes just zooming through Grand County? And to his credit, though, Bud Naked says, nope, not this time. Number 3, the president continues to use vehicle from the Weah administration in his convoy and his travel after saying that President Weah left no cars and the few cars he left were no good at all. And then we have the subject of the asset recovery. Is this real? We just saw on the front pages of the newspaper in Liberia that $6.6 million was diverted from by LRA from MedTech. It didn't go into the general coffer as it should, and it wound up into a different account. Instead of talking about that, they came out with somebody stole rice and they went after that person. If you had the choice of going after somebody who stole rice years ago, or $6.7 million that got lost according to GAC last week, which one are you going to go after? So these are the things we are talking about. And finally, something we call maybe black on black crime, but this one is Liberia on Liberian crime. A Liberian gentleman, Liberian-born immigration officer in the U.S. decided to victimize his own Liberians. I put an article in the chat room. If you didn't see it.
Yes, Douglas said he didn't get it. Do you give it to him directly?
What?
The link.
Which link?
To their show.
Yes, I sent it to him directly.
But he said he didn't get it.
Okay, let's send it to him. So
Yeah, but it's Duke not in a group.
I thought so. But it says here, Liberian-born U.S. immigration officer indicted on 20,000 bribery scandal. And I'm going to read a gist of it because we're going to go to it. If you didn't read it, it said a Liberian-born U.S. immigration officer has been indicted in a federal bribery scandal spanning more than a decade, with U.S. prosecutors accusing him of exploiting his government position to extort vulnerable immigrants seeking lawful status in the United States. Amara Dukley, 43, a naturalized U.S. citizen originally from Liberia and resident of Parkside, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, was formally charged Thursday with bribery of a public official by the U.S. Attorney's Office in Philadelphia. Douglas served as an immigration officer with the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, specializing in fraud detection and national security. A criminal complaint filed by the federal prosecutor and the Department of Homeland Security Office of Inspector General points a disturbing portrait of betrayal and abuse of authority. Somebody please mute. Abuse of authority. Dukley, a U.S. Army veteran who once served in Iraq, allegedly solicited and received tens of thousands of dollars from immigrants, many from West Africa, while making false promises to alter their legal statuses, clear their records, or push forward application he has never had the authority to handle. Dukley, who was not responding to media inquiries and currently has no attorney listed, faces potentially severe penalties if convicted. His alleged action have cast a dark cloud over the United States USCIS fraud unit, and the case continued to unfold. So this man goes into the Liberian community and the African immigrant community, introduces himself as a legitimate immigration officer, which he was. And he tells them that he could get money from them, he could expedite their paperwork. In fact, the FBI sting. A terrorist met him in a parking lot and told him that he wanted his record expunged or have the terrorist charge removed from his immigration record so he can become U.S. citizen. And he charged the guy $9,000 to remove the terrorist status. That is a major betrayal of trust. We are going to go to that. If you didn't read it, that's the gist of it. But let's go to number one here. Let me start with Mr. Eastman here. And this one here, say President Joseph Wagner attends funeral for the president and the first lady in Grand Jury. Your take on the whole issue, my friend?
Well, we have ad nauseum discussed this. The fact that he could reach there is commendable, because during the rainy season, those roads were not navigable. So if he can reach there by road, I think that is one good thing we can say about the whole thing matter. But unfortunately, the whole incident is marred with word that it is the Nigerians are simply being manipulated for political purposes. That the administration is only putting up a show, but when Nancy Doe was on Earth, she wasn't given the time of day. Her properties she claimed, her benefits she deserved, even her retirement pension funds were not given to her and were not adequate. So that has kind of marred the occasion. Now, interestingly enough, they jointly ceremonial reburied the late President Samuel K. Doe along with her, and that, of course, eclipsed her burial. And it is understood that there were several rituals that took place, but it was a fair ground for political play, as we saw the likes of Yeke Koloba being highlighted. He carried with him a whole convoy of motorcyclists and well wishers, and we saw the dissent coming from General Butt Naked Bly, who threatened that if Yekes was going to continue uncurtailed as he was, that he would intervene. So it was quite a fanfare there in Grand Jita. It's usually it's Wedry there's a sleepy town, but over the weekend there was a lot of attention. I hope this attention Zwedru got would lead to further development in the county, would lead to jobs in the county. Because if we're just posturing, if we don't actually mean to change the lot of the people, but merely get their votes and give them false sense of hope, then I think there's another crime being committed. And that crime is false leadership. We want to see our people benefit from the promises of these politicians. And one day, we hope that they account for their failures. But I will agree with you, Mr. Gaiman. There's been a lot at play there, and we need to carefully analyze what is going on there today.
Great. Mr. Tower.
Yes, sir.
In America, here we say, if you are a politician, never let a good time go by. If it's good news, be a part of it. Don't let the opportunity slip by. Joseph Boyka never stepped foot in the Southeast, even during his entire campaign. And then all of a sudden, boom, First Lady dies. And we've been long talking about a reburial president, so why not take advantage of this thing and look, listen, he's a politician. This is what politicians do.
Yeah, I watched Jimmy them on Friday, and the show where they talk about it, and everybody had a pretty good view based on where they were speaking from. And yes, these are what they call what? These are some of the tenets of democracy, right? The Western democracy is a popularity stuff. It's a crooked stuff. What is it? Campaign talk, right? So you have to seize the moment. You don't have to be honest. You just have to put on a good show, and that's just what it is. So people talking about Yeke, Yeke is putting on the show. That is what they do. These guys have nothing that they're doing. What are they really doing in Monrovia? Nothing. What impact are they making when they're supposed to? Nothing. So wherever there is something so that they can show, they will show up. But look, so I'm not really going to discuss too much on that part. For most of the show that I listened to on Friday, I listened to everybody talk, at least almost everybody that went around twice before I had to go handle some stuff. But this is one thing that I think was missed. Whether somebody mentioned it, I don't know. Because the question was, this is closure. Glendy and everybody else and Mr. Morris and Mr. Eastman, everybody and Dennis Jott, and they were all talking. And oh yeah, my father will put on the pole, on the light pole, the 13 people, my dad were killed in the village. I think we'll do this, some kind of closure and all of this stuff, and we can move on. And you know, these I disagree with that. There is no closure here. There is no moving forward here. What led to the war? What led to the coup? Is corruption? Is not even care about the country? Is the lawlessness? You can never have closure if the problems, the underlying issues that led to all of these things is not taken care of and it's still there. So Boyka came in, they accused Weah of everything else. Yes, they did most of this stuff when it comes to corruption. Weah then accused Ellen, yes. Ellen accused Taylor, yes. But then Boyka then come there and all kinds of money is getting missing. They take 90% of the budget and they share among themselves. They leave the whole country still in the same condition. So you can't have closure because you just go and dig up some bones and bury it, or somebody died and you bury them. That's nonsense. We have, look, they can have all the war crime code they want to have. How can you have closure when the people who committed the most crime, who were the ones that actually orchestrated this stuff and led this thing, they're all in power? You can't have closure that way. It doesn't matter what you do, how many bodies you dig up and you bury. They can even be my grandfather's body in the village or my dad's body somewhere in. It doesn't matter. They have to address these things until this change. Look, most of the problem we have in Liberia, you start having closure when the issues that led to this problem, you start addressing it. Cut all of these salaries. Invest in the people, invest in the country. Kids start to have future. People start seeing hope. People start actually progressing. Guess what? A whole bunch of these things going to pretty much relegate to the background because people can see that actual change is taking place. But you can't have the country strangulated completely in the dumpster and then you bury a couple of bodies and that's supposed to be closure. It's supposed to be something good. It's supposed to be that they're calling for unity. No, there will be no unity. Because after they bury all those people, they're going to find out that the condition is still worse. The youth, that is the future, look at them. What programs are in place for the youth? Nothing.
Wow. Thank you. Hey, what a sermon. Dr. Booty, this one here is very difficult to disagree with Honorable Tower here. If you kill all these people, because you say corruption was systemic, it was rampant, it was this, it was that, you kill people. And then 40 years later, the corruption is even worse. And then those who are now enjoying the loot are saying, we're going to have a closure. We're going to meet here today, drink our wine, eat our caviar, and say, okay, we bury these people now, we close, everybody gone back, we all heal. He says, it makes no sense.
Well, the thing is, I can always find a way to disagree with Mr. Tower. So
Please
that's not, yeah. So I think, no, I'm going to.
It's not Mr. Tower. This one, you disagree with me, you disagree with, I think Mr. Best, Eastman said something similar. If the reason we kill these people, the reason we were still benefiting from it, then it was senseless.
Well, the thing is, look, at the time, and even now, I don't think anyone would say that the slaughter of those people who are Liberians or were Liberians, by the way, was acceptable or is acceptable in any way. So we can all agree on that. I think, unfortunately for me, I think this is not a newsworthy conversation. I think President Boakai going to the southeast to bury or rebury President Doe shouldn't be a newsworthy issue. This is something that should have been dealt with a long time ago. I think on the presidential leave, they had an opportunity to do it. They chose not to do it. Apparently, because he was a race car parked in the garage, so he wasn't able to do it. Now the race car is out. It's running all the way around in the southeast, right? You must just be careful for it sticking in the mud because the roads down there are not as good. But look, like you said, this is all politics. We know that when Madame Doe was alive, the former First Lady, she complained that governments, so Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, which Boakai was a member of, George Weah, and then when he Boyka became president, they didn't cater to her needs. They didn't support her in any way, shape, or form. They didn't give her what she felt was deserved. So now she's dead, and then you want to use her to score political points. That's unacceptable. But to be honest with you, to see this is just one of the things, but this is not even on the level of the other things that are going on in the country that are worse. You know, the theft, the high salaries that are unwarranted. You know, the so-called cleaning up of the government and the rest agenda that's still investing peanuts in agriculture and healthcare and the fact that $22 million was spent on some whatever road project that we can't even see the roads. Right. So these are more important things that we should be targeting and talking about. I think Buckeyes, attempt to try and win, like you normally say, Mr. Gayman, and I always use your words. This is smoke screen, right? That's what the president is doing. He's just basically trying to divert away from the nonsense that is going on in Monrovia with all these various investigations and political witch hunts and all those kind of things, right? So yeah, for me personally, I enjoyed the drama involving Blai and what's his name, Yeke Koluba. And I asked a question yesterday to people, and a lot of people were commenting on that. I thought they said Blai meant a pastor because the way he threatening people that I see pastor threatening somebody like that before,
Holy war.
Exactly. Someone commented on the post, said, "Oh no, God, they said that the kingdom of heaven shall suffer violence." I said, "No, I don't think that's what God was talking about." But look, we're talking about it because it's happening in our country. The president is using this to divert attention away from the failings of this government. This government has been poor. This government has failed the Liberian people. That's why last Sunday we talked about it. Mr. Eastman was there. That Liberians need to sit down and think very hard, because come 2029, if they're crazy enough to vote in the CDC or the Unity Party that would have been there for 24 years and we've not seen much progress, we still see people dying from basic illnesses and stuff like that, then the Liberian people themselves are bringing these problems on themselves. Because look, they say fool me once, shame on you. Shame on you. But fool me twice, then I don't want a stupid president. And the Liberian people need to get to a point where they understand that we can't allow ourselves to be stupid. So we need to make the right decision and get these clowns out of government so that hopefully we can move our country forward, because other countries are leaving us behind.
Mr. Eastman, the in Liberia we have become minimalists, just the bare minimum. Some people are saying now, at least he made it to the southeast. Everywhere president go, we know they take the greater road, and then after he leaves, it goes back to where he came from, pothole everywhere. And until the road is paved, the road is not good. But people are saying at least now, the president made it to southeast. Southeast was very bad. The president went there. That means something has been done. This is a disservice to ourselves.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the doctor for bad roads. That's one of the cardinal points he campaigned on. That roads should be prioritized in his administration. I mean, we do understand that roads provide a network where we can have exchange in data, exchange in goods and services. So it's quite essential for the economy. But it has to be coordinated with other development projects. Yeah, where we're talking about electricity, where people need to be connected to the electrical grid, pump on water, and definitely education. If I were prioritizing, I'm sorry, I would prioritize education, because investing in our future will be a better guarantee than any infrastructure. Because if you fail to do the infrastructure, but you've invested in the children, they can complete your project. So um, it's not enough that you pave the road and go there. But on his behalf, I must say this: I think it might have pleased some in Grand Gita that he went there to sympathize with the family. But as you can see, there was a lot of counter campaigning from Yeke to try to nullify what he was doing. And if you listen to all the memes and videos coming from Yeke, he was telling the people that he's trying to fool them, that they should not be fooled. So yeah, it was a playground for politics, and it all depends on where you are is what you believe. All right, the Grand Julians have been very faithful in supporting George Weah in past elections, and so now the UP party is going after that vote. Did he do enough to persuade them? I'm not sure, but we can be assured of one thing, that with the demise of Prince Johnson, and now it's an open ball field, and nobody's to say who will get the Grand Jury vote next 2029, nor can we say who will get the NIMBA vote 2029. It's up in the air. So it's going to be, I can tell it's from already, it's going to be a very hectic elections come 2029.
Well, to Miss Gia over here, the road is not paved. It was just grated. They took, like they've always done, it's a grader. They took their caterpillar and grader there, and they graded the road. It was not paved. If the road to the side it was paved, that would be a major accomplishment. Yes, Mr. Towell.
Yeah. Look at what happened here, guys. Actual factual. That's his name. He's one of the viewers that is watching.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My brother. The Western democracy that's giving you it only elect clowns. So if you're saying don't remove one clown and put another, the clowns are selected. The people that you claim you vote for, you don't vote for them. People who fund them choose the ones that will serve against Liberia's interests. Fund them and place them in front of you. If you are going to actually speak and want to really solve Liberia's problem, you're never going to make it over there unless you have a lot of money of your own for you to put up. So yes, they're going to remove these clowns. That is why the Western democratic system, why you call electoral politics, is a failure. Why democracy give you old men that are already in the grave. Look at the US here. Look across Africa where it's being practiced. That is what it gives you. So yes, but look, for me, I come on the show, I want people to disagree with me. I'm not here as people who, when they disagree with, they're about to cry and they start whining. The reason is because I'm coming from a position of fact and of historical evidence. When I came on the show, when I pointed out what the US government and their European cousins were doing by taking over 3 critical areas in Liberia to destroy that which was education, health, and agriculture. They were the one that encouraged the high salaries. They were not doing it by accident. They were doing it so that they get you to where you are. When I mentioned it here and I said that what they're doing, they are corrupting the system because it's already corrupt so that they can create the strangulation that when they pull out, those critical areas are going to collapse and the country is going to collapse. I was challenged. I was told that I was too radical, all of this stuff. What happened when USAID pulled up? What happened? The 3 areas collapsed. What happened when they were trying to pay the high salaries? When I was mentioning it for years that this is a crime here. Why would the US allow these guys to pay themselves this much, and they said they will subsidize the rest of it? It's to get you here because they know that it will either have to take war to remove those guys, to break the entire system down to get it right. I was called all kinds of names. What happened now? We are stuck with that, and the country can't move forward because everything is in the hands of those crooks that are then using the corrupt political system to constantly. It doesn't matter. Look, you see the government, how they're set up? They're never going to work. And I want us to stop using the Sahel region as some kind of example here. Because the Sahel region is using exactly what I'm calling for. Away from the Western democracy, that is what they're using. In democracy, you can't hold on to your resources. Because if you decide to nationalize or ArcelorMittal, the mine, you can't even do it in a democracy. Because you have to go to the legislature, they have to pass another bill, they got to do this, they will sue you here, sue you there, and then you get caught up into it, then you just leave it alone. Because they set this up for that purpose. So no, we should stop using the Sahel region, and then we want to follow democracy that's handed to us. No, that is us trying to lie to one another. The Sahel region are doing opposite of what you are practicing in Liberia. So let us establish that.
Thank you very much. Somebody just mentioned, Mr. Jala, want to know why you can't call. Yes, you can call. The number is scrolling there. Call 772-940-2871. And then the code there is 791-403 pound. And you will be able to call in and have your say so. Let me put a code. But yes, you can call in and join the discussion. We have no issue with that at all. You call that number, we'll bring you on. But yes, let's go to the part 2 here while I put this number on. Let's look at the president continue to use vehicle from the weird days. The president, Weah, said when he was leaving office, he left brand new cars. Some of the cars were 1 or 2 years old, including the presidential bulletproof car. And the Unity Party said there were no cars. The president had, in fact, the president left was in danger that he needed that $1.5 million car for he and the vice president, only to find out that this particular fleet of cars that were used yesterday going into Grand Jita were all basically new cars from the previous government that were used in Grand Jita County. The convoy, everybody knew where they were. Why is this administration so dishonest to the people? Mr. Eastman, you are our diplomatic experts here. How is this possible? Something we call broad daylight, like people say my witness have died because you can't ask the dead person or the person in London, person across the water. But broad daylight, these are cars that they are physical evidence people can see.
They have some equation they use in Liberia to depreciate cars. There's a reason why every 3 years they buy members of the legislature new cars, because they claim that after 3 years, the amount of depreciation that these cars would have endured, the value is very, very low. So they probably use that same frame of thought to devalue the vehicle that the President Weah left. It's disingenuous. I agree, because those vehicles that they end up buying for themselves from the government after 3 years are very good and vehicles, very good condition. And why are we spending money this way? I have to agree with Mr. Tao on certain things, that this system is rigged. The way they have it, they enact laws that take advantage of the people. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm sorry about that. I might have to go in and out. But they enact laws that take undue advantage of the people, that are not in favor of the progressive development of the country, and they get away with it. They gave themselves gas slips first because there were no vehicles. Now that they have vehicles, they still get themselves gas kits. We're still awarding them all kinds of benefits. And what needs to happen is that an autonomous board needs to evaluate what we should pay people, how much compensation do those lawmakers actually deserve. Because if we continue as this is, this thing reminds me of the days way back when. Do you know that representatives were only making about $300 a long time ago, and today we hear upper tones of 15,000? I think what you mentioned, Mr. Gaiman, is that our people have been taken advantage of. And I wouldn't necessarily blame it on democracy, but I do know this system, this particular system, yes, they have rigged it because the checks and balances are not in place. And when you don't have checks and balances in democracy, you don't have a democracy anymore. Okay, and that is why our system looks thwarted by the corrupt practices of the era. Let me go out and come back.
Sure. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to On Point. This is Sunday. Mr. Jala, you said you wanted to join the conversation. Please, you can call anytime, join the conversation, topic you want to discuss. We will discuss that. Please don't wait for us. Just call when you can. And this is the number to call, 772-940-2871. Your code is 791403 #. When you call, we'll bring you on. No questions asked. Well, before we move on to the next topic, let me put this on the screen.
Well, Mr. Gaiman, so I will not talk about the other one too.
No, I'm coming. I want you to look at it before we move on to you. He said democracy works. It probably doesn't work well in a society where the masses are uneducated and miseducated. Well, guess what? In a society where the people are educated, we'll go to what's happening in New York City, where they have practically abandoned democracy for now for socialism. We will talk about that later on. But let's go to Mr.
But socialism and democracy are not opposites.
Okay, we'll talk to that. We have a young man in New York City by the name of Mandini. Mandini is now promising free transportation, housing, child care. The problem is, where do you get money to pay for all the massive overhaul? But let's go to Dr. Booty. You wanted to chime me on the topic.
Yeah, I thought you were going to ask. I thought you were going to ask me a question on the topic so that I could.
No, we on the same topic. Yes. Go ahead. I know you wanted to discuss that, but let's talk about. Okay, hold on 1 minute here. Hold on 1 minute. Hold on to that. Your name and where you calling from?
Hi, my name is William Jala.
Okay, go ahead.
Put it louder to the mic. We can't hear it.
Concerns a couple of issues to bring to you guys' attention. Relative to the national issues that you guys discussed. I was hoping this particular program, On Point, was actually intended to discuss the national issues of Liberia objectively. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case. Unfortunately, some of you panelists, and I'm going to call out specific names, like Victor Nami, like Boakai, like Tao. You guys have been, most of these panelists have been very dishonest and disingenuous. I would think that this platform was intended to strike a balanced debate, a balanced discussion on the national issues, affecting the country. Unfortunately, these guys that I just called out are very one-sided. They are unbalanced with the analysis and critique of the administration, especially this administration. The specific point, and last 4 nights ago, Victor, I posted a series of comments, and he took offense to them and decided that it was the right thing to call me out. And so I was this call is actually intended to respond to him for calling me out, because and it's one thing to criticize. It's a good thing to criticize the government, but and it's also equally a good thing to say what the government is doing right in the face of enormous constraints. This country, there's no denying this administration, this current administration, came to power with a broken system, with an empty coffer, and people expect that this government, this administration, should somehow magically perform, turn Liberia into the street of gold. That's not going to be possible. That's not going to happen.
Okay.
This administration is doing enormous efforts in putting Liberia back on its footing. Let's take, for example, the international Liberia standing internationally was underwater. This government, since the inception of this government has fought hard to put Liberia back on the map, to assume its rightful place among the community of nations. I think the administration should be applauded for that. All right? Another thing.
Why? Because we won the Security Council?
Where?
In the country. You guys don't mention any of this. All you guys do is you're just obsessed and fixated about everything negative. I don't think it reflects any sense of patriotism on you guys' part.
Thank you.
You need to balance this your show.
Thank you.
As objective as possible.
Thank
It's okay to criticize the government, but it's also okay to put place where place is needed. I just thought that I call and vent out my frustration and my anger at you guys. The individuals that I just called, not Gateman, but Eastman, Tao, Wakai, and Victor. You guys need to be balancing your analysis and criticism of the administration, because you guys are being unfair to the administration. Your job is not just to criticize.
Thank you. Your name and where you calling from? Thank you. Your name and where you calling from?
Oh, there was some feedback.
Hello, sir.
Caller, don't listen to your set. Listen to the phone.
Yeah, this is Darlington Saber calling from New Jersey, Ollie.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, sir, I'm alone, bro. You see the guy who called him to say all kinds of things? He does not have a point. He does not have a point, to spit out. How can you be like calling? You don't have a specific point that you would make for the listener to checkmate. The puppet came to power on the menu of rescue. The same by like reconciliation and other stuff. But the people who is supposed to reconcile with, he's not reconciling with them, but you're reconciling people that are already dead and gone. I don't know what sense it made. You told all that Joel left or Carter already depreciated. But using the same car to go on that kind of distance. So I don't know where are we these days. So that is my point, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, keep the calls coming in. Everybody, no matter what your comment is, your belief, you call in, we will bring you on. If you put your comment forward, we will put your comment forward. We are not one-sided. If you think so, a few weeks ago, a few years ago, people thought people were banking on that. I was the only supporter here. Here we are, the same people seeing the same thing. These people saw corruption in the Ellen government. They saw corruption in the Weah government. They are seeing corruption in this government, and they say the same thing they've been saying all these years. And yet you're saying they are targeting Mr. Boycott. Dr. Booty, the president said President Weah left nothing. Everything was destroyed. And Weah said, well, when I left new cars. And here are the turnover notes. You cannot deny the turnover notes. You got these cars. And they said the car was no good. All of a sudden now, here is the car that they are dependent to go, not only in Monroe, but across the country. Your take?
Well, first of all, I'm excited that Mr. Jala and Komani. That's how they came for. So at least, Eastman and Nangbe, who is not even here tonight, right? But secondly, look, again, I don't want to point fingers, right? But I think clearly Mr. Jala is a sympathizer of the Unity Party-led government. Hence, he believes that we are very biased on the show. Because I'm one of the individuals who are very critical of this government, so that he didn't even call my name. Because Mr. Tao is more critical of the system, not the government itself. Mr. Tao is critical of the system, and the system goes across every government that we've had, right? So how you can say Mr. Tao is can you mute K Valley for a minute, please? How can you say Mr. Tao is unfairly critical of this government? I don't understand. Clearly, he hasn't been watching the show, because if he has, then he'll know that Mr. Tao is objective, because he focuses on the system, right? But to just push back, look, the president, again, this president has lost credibility in the eyes of the Liberian people, right? And for you, Mr. Jala, I'll just give you some examples for why we criticize this government. So when the president was campaigning to be president, he said he was going to come in to arrest whatever it is that George Weah and his government was doing. First thing he came to power, before he even entered office, his current Minister of State for Presidential Affairs collected over, I think, about $500,000 from NASCOP that has yet to been reported on or justified as to why he would go and collect that money when he's not even an official of government. We've called on that. The president has failed to do anything about it. The president then tried to get rid of people who were in tenured positions that he created when he was vice president of the Republic of Liberia. The Supreme Court came and said, look, you can't do that. So what did he do? He illegally suspended these individuals and appointed his cronies, mostly from Lofa County, to act, one of whom has recently been found by the GAC to be corrupt, and he was forced to suspend this person. For years, the president criticized George Weah for using private jets to travel out of Liberia. He came to power. What did he do? He started using private jets. So those are the reasons. Those are just three of the reasons why we criticize this government. Not because we hate A. Joseph Boakai, but because we see what they're doing, and we know that what they're doing is not right for the Liberian people. Last Sunday, we talked about Riverside County, where girls under 19 years old, about 50% of them are getting pregnant before they hit 19. The school system is a mess in Riverside County. All of those things are happening under the watch of this president. Why? Allegedly, Patrick Horner is collecting $3,500 every month for generator for his house. He doesn't work from home. He works from the office. So why are we paying for his house to get generator and be comfortable when he doesn't work from there? Again, those are things that this president should be addressing. Almost 60% of his government officials have not declared their assets yet, right? And this president is not going after them. He's running after Mary Bro and the former foreign minister for Beggar Rights. That does not even amount to the kind of corruption that we're seeing his people taking. So when you want to speak and criticize individuals, Mr. Jala, please, mute yourself, please. When you want to criticize people, Mr. Jala, please sit down, read the issues, and then come, like the caller who came after you said, bring arguments to the table. Say, look, you said this about the government, but here's the counter argument. Don't just come and bash individuals who take their time to come and talk about critical issues to make sure that this government that is neglecting its duty to the people start to take it seriously.
Thank you. Welcome to I forgot his name, Mr. Kamara. You've been away so long. I saw you. You got married. Now you growing beard. You got
gray hair and honor.
You're dressing like an imam. You're doing very well. How you doing, that young man? Welcome. Happy New Year to you.
Yeah. Great to be on here. You know, I've always followed the show, but today actually, when I listened to Jala, I heard a cry. A cry for someone to come on here, at least to debunk these guys. These guys have been having a good time for a hell of a long time. And when I heard Jala, I was like, you know what, Jala is right. I need to go over there and try to balance this show a little bit. Okay. You know? But thanks for allowing me to come on after so long.
Listen, Mr. Jala, thank you very much for pulling this man under the rabbit hole. I have to call you who you are, Mr. Jala. I have to send you something, either flowers. Well, I know you are a man, so you don't want flower. I want to send you something. I will send you something that men can, maybe a cologne or something.
We're saying he want invitation to the show.
Yeah, let him come on.
Let's send Mr. Towel with him muscle to go visit him.
Mr. Jala, the whole thing was that the whole while you have about 4 minutes to tell us what was so good about this administration that we should bring out. You didn't bring out nothing. All you said was he tried to put the country back on the international footing. What is that? I don't know what that is. I would have loved for you to say, since the president came in, the prices of rice went from $29 to $17. Mm-hmm. The road from Monrovia to Grand Jita have been paved. The school, the University of Liberia have been renovated. The children are back in school. JFK, nobody dying anymore. The electricity is stable. No electric. Those are the things that are tangible, things that people can feel and touch. The dollar rate is high.
And the water hole, the bay in Babulu is still working.
Yeah, the thing in Babulu.
Mr. Gilman.
No, I'm coming. So, Mr. Jala, read about some of the good things the government had done. They come back and then we can discuss it. Welcome, Mr. Valley. Go ahead. Your turn on any subject.
Yeah, first of all, let me just tell Tao that they hear continuous cry and shifting blame to other people is lazy, is redundant, and you need to re-strategize. You are grown people running your own administration. If somebody brings something to you, you can't say they impose it on you. You can change it if you want. Now, so some of the issues that you guys are talking about here, what Joseph Boakai have done. First thing foremost, for the past 6, 7, 8 years prior to Joseph Boakai administration, you wouldn't drive from Monrovia straight to Grand Creek County, like people are doing now in a day's time. Whether or not it's paved, the point is something is working. Now, as we speak, the One Child, One Chair program is ongoing, and the government is working on making sure that the issue of students not having sufficient sitting capacity in the country is totally overcome. All right? The government is also making it its business to begin to make health reform. If you go to the JFK right now, there are teams of what should I say, supervisors, I want to say it that way, to actually ascertain as to what JFK really needs, what has been JFK's problem, and why does it still persist. As we speak, that is going on. If you went to Lofa County right now, there are different road projects that are ongoing to keep the roads pliable until the necessary funds are being available to pave those roads. The damage that have occurred in Liberia over the past years cannot be resolved in a period of 17 months. I think anyone realistic on this show would realize. Now, let's talk about electricity. Prior to this administration, electricity was functionable only during rainy season. Now it's not the same any longer. All right? Even though there is work to be done. When this new boss took over at Liberian Electricity Corporation, he tried to find out the root cause of the problem. One of the problems is power theft. One of the problems is the capacity of the dam. You know, he has figured everything in, and as we speak, they're working on each and everything, gentlemen. Gentlemen, look, let me tell you something. Let us be realistic. It is easy to sit down here and speak British English all day. It is a whole different ball game to give you a job to make a dilapidated country or society to function. It's not easy. People are used to getting away with stuff. Putting them on track is difficult. There is resistance. There is serious opposition. As you can see, Mr. Gilman here is opposing the fight against corruption. According to him, it's witch hunt. It's difficult. It's not an easy thing. We're going to get there, but we're only asking you to be realistic. Good things are happening.
Sorry, Mr. Gilman. I think I was mentioned there when he talked about
go ahead.
Are you a British man?
No, I'm the only person there that can speak British English here. So let me
Tawo, you next.
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Tawo, you will come in, and I think you need to come in because so look, Mr. Kamara. First of all you've done is provided headlines, not evidence. You've not shown anything. There is nothing going on at JFK that is transforming JFK. They're supervisors. Anybody can come and say, there are where's the evidence of these supervisors, right? You say, the LEC. Look, just 2 months ago, the thing is, we all have people in Liberia. I was in Liberia in March, right? And I experienced the same issues that were there prior to Joseph Boakai coming into power, right? So you can't tell me. I was in Liberia in March. When were you last in Liberia?
I was in Liberia in April. When did Sheriff take over? That's what I'm talking about.
No, you cannot say to me, Mr. Kamara, you cannot say to me that this government came to power without knowing that they needed a sheriff early on. Why was sheriff not put in place when they first came in? Why did they have?
You have to understand that there is contract. No. Hold on, 1 minute. 1 minute.
No, but you are interrupting me. I did not interrupt you when.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm not going to make it lazy. Don't go ahead.
No, but there's respect, right? We have to respect each other. Then we'll have a good conversation. The people who listen can understand what we're trying to say. Because if we're speaking over each other, it wouldn't. Yeah. So at the end of the day, look, there are a litany of things, right? Corruption, the mismanagement of the whole arson investigation, the fact that there is so much waste in terms of government officials, the fact that the president is wasting money on traveling on private jets, all of those things are there. And you come and tell me, the role in Lofa County. What role in Lofa County? Right? I've got family members who went to Lofa County recently to bury people, and they struggled. It took them at least a day and a bit to get to where they needed to get. And you're telling me all the roads what's the word people can use the road in Lofa County? That's not true. That's not true, Mr. Kamara. Don't come here and state things that are untrue. Tell the people look, if you want to defend
you don't take it full time now. Let me respond.
No, Mr. Tawo has to come in after me. I'm going to stop it there and then turn it over to Mr. Tawo.
I went to Lofa on my trip in April. It didn't take me the time you're talking about.
People who are going to Lofa now. I'm talking about 2 weeks ago, not April.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute now. So the time that I just came from Liberia,
okay for you in April.
I thought you said we get
Listen, guys, we don't want to make this thing a dialogue. Coming to Tawo, Mr. Jimmy Eastman, I just sent you a video. Can you please load that up for when you're ready?
Okay.
I wanted to make a correction first of all.
Wait, let Tawo come in, then you can come back with your
make your correction real quick so Tawo can
Okay, he's concerned about why when Joseph Boakai came to power, they didn't know about LEC and this and that. The point is, whoever was at the head of LEC was there on the basis of contract, and that contract had to expire before a new person would have been appointed, and that's what happened.
Oh Lord, Mr. Tawo, your take.
Yeah. First, I'm not even going to endorse or give credibility to a man that that couldn't even defend his own government. He ran away, and then today he popped up from somewhere. So I'm going to continue with how I discuss stuff here. Look, the vehicle issue. This is the same corruption we're talking about. Wakaden have no good intention for the country.
Tawo, give me one. Hold on, right there. Give me 1 minute. Go ahead, say your thought. You got to call your name. Hold on. Hold on. Your full name, please.
Wilton Ketter from Connecticut, Mr. Gilman.
Go ahead.
Thank you. I listened to Mr. Kamara just now, and we talk about deception and
Yeah.
Yeah, they want you to speak. They want you to speak a little louder.
Turn them phone loud.
So
Yeah.
can you hear me loud?
Yes.
We talk about deception and hypocrisy in our Liberian governance or setting. Mr. Kamara is telling us, because the gentleman on set speaking standard English, and they don't know nothing about governance. When President Weah was in office, these were the same people that came to tell us that Weah know nothing about governance. Weah could not do what he said he was going to do. Weah did not do X, Y, Z. Today, he's telling us it's easy for us to sit on social media and talk and don't know the kind of difficulties government had. Where were Mr. Kamara when they were sitting down saying the same thing about Weah, that when they come there, they will fix everything in the twinkling of an eye? He didn't know that the crisis that you had was so great that it would take at least more than 2 decades to even get started. He didn't know that now we come there and school us about this. This government is a failure. This man who you sold to us as a 45 years or 42 years experience politician has failed our country. This man does not even know his left from his right. And you want to come here and play with us? We don't want to hear all we got or people in jail that are thinking about how to fix the problem. We want you to fix the problem because you told us that it's going to fix it on day one. You start fixing it. And up to now, we still hear people crying in Liberia. They got to stay, take people outside to go for treatment or when they get sick in Liberia. The roads are bad. The roads are not good. We talk about you told us that we have built sidewalk. You were going to build multi roads, and then you breaking up roading, telling us it's good. Do something real, my brother. Thank you so much.
Great.
Yeah.
We will answer to that call. Mr. Tawo, you were in mid-flight.
Yeah, so look at what happened here. Wakaden didn't make no mistake. The old man is corrupt, and anyone that's supporting him, that trying to say anything here, they're just as corrupt as him. They knew that the vehicles were there, they were working, but you see, there is corruption in concession. So they needed to create a concession for them to purchase these vehicles, and there was corruption around them. What need to be checked into is that those so-called bulletproof vehicles and stuff that they say they bought or that they needed to buy, we need to see whether the vehicles are even the prices that they said they were. Because whenever there is concession of purchases, there is always corruption. That is why you see almost all the government push that. So it's not that Boaca, all of a sudden, they pulled the vehicles from somewhere and they said, no, they knew, but they were looking for ways to either put money in their pocket or pay campaign people that funded them and all of this stuff. So that's what you are seeing. And so it's nothing new. This guy have no desire. Look, they made over 100 years old. No future. Yeah, he don't what you think he's thinking about 2050? No. Every day he wake up, he's surprised that he's up. So that's the no, but this is the reality. This is what the democracy is giving us. They go ahead and select a bunch of old guys, sponsor them, put them in front of you. You look at Nigeria, look at Tinubu, look here in the US, look at Trump, look at Biden. This is what the democracy does. And look, to say that blaming other people, this is our problem. We come here, we have no knowledge of ourselves, we have no knowledge of the history. And then when it's mentioned, because of our inability to actually address our history, you think history is just about name and dates and heroes? No. History, if it was not important, why are they stopping you from it? Why do they discourage you so much from it? Because in history lies prescription, lies techniques, lies failures and success. All of the stuff we're facing, our people faced these things before. It is all laid out in our history. So then when you look at your history, you see, okay, so this is how we did it. These were the challenges. This is how we approach it. They've told us we should forget about everything about ourselves. Here is somebody in Burkina Faso, in Mali, in Niger, trying now to say, you know what? We don't need anyone trying to do it. What are they saying here in the US and in England and everywhere else? They want to kill them. Then you're saying it's not imposed? It is imposed. This was imposed on you by the gun to your head. And you saw, because of that means you went through the war. Anytime you want to change it, because it's intended to strangulate you, it's corrupt, it's porous. Somebody was saying, factual actual said that democracy can work. Only maybe in places like, no, it doesn't work. Democracy, the electoral politics that the West gave, is not even working for them. It only works when you have no real adversary, when you have no real challenge. Look here now in the US, we are here. Look at the people questioning themselves now whether this story is even worth it. You can see the struggle here. Because now you have China, you have other people that can infiltrate it, that call their businesses and the billionaires, give them good deal, and Chinese stocks are passing in you see now how they're in disarray. They didn't say they're even questioning this democracy, that you can see them circumventing it. They told you about freedom of speech and all this stuff. They don't even want for you to question anything about them anymore. What is the next one? If you want to travel to the US, you should declare all your social media stuff. Because why? In there, they want to see whether you're going to point these things out. To say, look at what they're doing. Look at their strategy. People that say they want to engage you, they say, okay, don't deal with China. China come to you with business. How they come to you with? Armed men. African. They bring arms. Armed men to occupy a country, he says, it's not imposed.
Antiquated militancy.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Imposed.
Let's go to the one child, one chair policy that is working in Liberia. Let's listen to the guys. No volume.
I'm trying to turn it on. 1 minute. Where the volume? Where the speaker button? I'll carry it back.
You're the engineer. Ladies and gentlemen, this is investigative report from Liberia. This man called himself the sheriff. He hounded George Weah for 6 years, and he's still doing what he has done for years. And here is the Pingba Public School in, I think it's in Bong County. If we can play it, let's do it.
It's not going to play because that is false propaganda you're trying to portray here.
What false propaganda?
Because the truth of the matter is the one child, one chair policy is something that is being worked on. It doesn't mean that these chairs have already been distributed to all of these schools. That's not what it means. If you go to NBDC right now, Liberians are building these chairs.
Okay.
And these things, listen, these things takes time. From 1847 to now, the problem you have caused, you want Joseph Burger to solve all at once with a budget of practically 600 million.
You know, can I answer that question?
Yeah. They can call it 800 other one, but it's basically 600 million.
Let me answer the question, Mr. Kamara. If you make sure, right, that 800 million, it's not 600, it's 800 million. But now you're lying to the
800.
Yeah, you're lying to the Liberian people.
Some people it's 800.
700 million of that is going towards servicing the elites, right? 700 million. So you need to reduce that 700 million to create the excess that you can then invest in the country. That's what we expected Abe Boakai to do. Since he's been in power for so long, since he's all closer to the grave than he is to the future, what he should be focusing on is a legacy. Come in and say, you know what? All these extras and excessive salaries are not necessary.
Let
me learn that. So let's cut back on how much money we're paying ministers. Let's cut back on all the waste in gas slips and scratch cards, and then repurpose that money to agriculture, to the one child, one chair. And then it will not still be in process of making it at MVTC 2 years later. The chairs will actually be going to the classroom by now. because the money to buy the planks and the whatever will come in to produce. We can still be in the process of making 2 years later, right? The one child, one chair policy, we're still making the chairs then. How long does it take to make chairs?
First and foremost, we have a bureaucratic system. Joseph Boakai is not a king. You have to understand that. There is a PPCC process. There are other things that you have to go through that goes through a period of time. He can't just say, make chairs, make chairs. Give me 20 million, you give me 20 million. If that was the case, we would have had 400 yellow machines in Liberia right now. This is not how it works.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is another revolution. This is breaking news. When Joseph Boakai was campaigning, he says we cannot have these children on the street selling. When I become president, we will move all of them. We'll put them in school. We will do this. Today, child selling, child poverty has gone through the roof. Joseph Boakai promised when I get elected in 90 days, there will be no car stock on the road in Liberia. We are not making this stuff up, my friend. This is Joseph Boakai's own promise. Joseph Boakai promised, he said, I don't even have to go to the, no car can take me or have to take me to the executive mansion. I can even ride my wheelbarrow and go to the executive mansion. And he turned around and bought $1.4 million bulletproof car. This is the man who says the young playboy is riding private jet everywhere. It is unnecessary. I can't do this. And he riding private jet. Mr. Eastman, this is becoming so comical that Mr. Jala is getting under his skin. It is so hot that the promises this president made that we are holding him to, 90 days, there will be no car stuck in the mud in Liberia. I mean, I don't know where these folks are coming from. Mr. Eastman, you're taking
I appreciate Jala for calling, because we welcome adversity. We welcome thoughts from opposing views. But to be balanced, let's go to the LEC issue. I can speak to the LEC issue because this is I worked there, and this is part of what I studied. You finally got somebody who understands the grid. That man, I can bet you right now, he is connecting to the Ivory Coast, the line from Ivory Coast. That is why we have stable current. Why couldn't we do that before? Because you're putting incompetent people in technical positions that they know nothing about. Now, if you keep on putting people like Jala, even our boy to water and sewer a little better, if you put competent people, not cronies, not people who support your political parties, you will have a correct government. Nobody is against anybody. We just say, why are you making these same bad moves that were made in the past? That some of these moves they put people on the pole for, and you repeating them. Why are we doing that when we're supposed to have a revolution going, uniting people, bringing the people up from poverty? Why are we putting incompetent and people who don't know the job and put a doctor? We have people killing people in the hospital who don't have doctor degrees. Why is this happening in Liberia? So until we get a grip on putting people who qualify for the positions in position, we'll always have this problem. It's not about a person. It's about a system that's being run to appease the elites. That's why Mr. Tower said the whole thing is rigged, because it's just for the elites and those in powerful and those in control of the finances. It's not for the common man. So that's what we're talking about when we say these things have to change.
Yeah, hey, Mr.
Eastman, the way Mr. Eastman put it, I couldn't disagree with Mr. Eastman.
Okay,
the way he put it,
Go ahead, Kamara.
The way he put it, I think anybody with some level of rationale would agree. But here is the thing: the reason why Cherie was brought was because Joseph Boakai was looking for someone more competent, more qualified, who has a record of success in this area. Joseph Boakai did not appoint anyone that he sent for confirmation hearing prior to Sheriff. When Mr. What the man name? When he resigned,
Money Captain.
Captain, when he resigned, Joseph Boakai sent an acting. While the acting was there, hoping or believing that he was going to be the next LEC boss, Joseph Boakai brought Sheriff. So he was ready. He is now. Here's the thing: he is looking. Everything he's doing, he is looking for the right people in certain strategic area, but he has to find them. And until he finds them, he has to work with those that are available. However, good things are being done. The JFK issue, that's another great point that he really made. Joseph Boakai doesn't know a single doctor at JFK because he doesn't appoint doctors. But those are things, like he said, that we really need to look into. Now, when the conversation takes its turn, then we begin to come together to find solutions. It becomes a solution-driven conversation. But when Dr. Woody start talking, you know, it's just something to just kill Joseph Boakai, period. He died yesterday, he woke up today, he almost died, you know, that kind of stuff. We don't get too far with that kind of conversation.
Well, first of all, Mr. Give me sorry. First of all, Mr. Kamara, you have to be careful when you say things like that, because some of us visit Liberia, right? I don't want your people came in for no reason.
One minute.
Oh, man, come on, man. Nobody got time for you, man.
No, I'm just saying, because when you say those kind of things, you put some of us in a difficult situation. Sorry,
Mr.
Mr.
Eastman.
Yeah.
Mr. Eastman, I just sent you the real video. If you want, you can load it for me.
Okay, I'll load it.
Why you loading it?
Yes.
Why you loading it? You see how Mr. Kamara, out of a certain, he's somebody that is reasonable, that is talking about actuality, that talking about technicality. I was here with him, and we all pointed all these things about George Weah, knowing that it was a system that was broken. I was even saying it's not limited to any government. It is the system itself. Now he gets here, the same thing is going on, and he can't even point it out. He wants to start saying something that started in 1847. When it comes to Boakai, making $22 million available, stealing it without going through any PPCC, he was backing it here that they're going to do this one. When it comes to him removing people illegally without going through the system, but you see, when it's something that's supposed to benefit children, it's a chair that you are talking about in the 21st century. Chair for children to sit in.
But it wasn't there before.
That other person, Boakai is not a king. But everything else, Boakai that have to do with corruption and cronyism, Boakai is a king. But when they have to do with the people, he's not a king. You can't be this disingenuous.
When it comes to removing the central bank governor and replacing him with local man, you're not king.
Be honest here.
Mr. Eastman, are you ready?
Almost. Y'all keep talking.
Let me just say something. Let me just say one thing while Mr. Eastman is getting ready, right?
Yeah,
because Mr. Kamara pointed out that, the president came and he was looking for the right people. Look, this president has been in government for 40-something years prior to coming. Those are one of the things that he sold to the Liberian people. I am the most experienced person ever to be elected. You cannot come to the task. It's like Mr. Tao now applies for a job. He gets the job. They expect him to come on day one and start implementing the things that he said he would implement in his interview. Then he can't say, no, you got to give me 2 years. You know, I got to find the right staff to bring in. You should already know the right people before you take. That's why we have over a month between election and inauguration, so that you go and find the right people. You can't come here 2 years ago and say, I'm finding the right people. Then why you ran to be president if you don't know the right people?
Mr. Gilman.
Yes.
Mr. Gilman, let me help this guy.
No, talk your own.
I will help him.
I don't need your help.
You know, you are going to accept my help. You must accept my help.
I will not accept your help.
You know, the election that took place in 2023 was as a result of a conglomeration of political organizations. Remember, it was almost like power sharing initially. If I help you win election, the best you can do is put some of my people in your government. We are graduating from that stage because people are literally hanging themselves. It is not that he didn't know the right people initially, but he had Whether or not we want to accept it, it is a living reality of Liberia that when you form a coalition, you got to work with that coalition in some way or the other, even if you're not too satisfied. At the point where they fail to perform, like some of them are doing, through suspension, that's how we're getting rid of them. So it's a matter of time. We're telling you, we're getting there.
No, you're killing me, because all of the people that he suspended or has fired are people who were in the previous government, not people he appointed. So how is it that you're telling me, oh, that
name some of the people that were in previous government?
Was Money Captain in the
Money Captain was not fired. Money Captain was not fired.
But you said that tell me two names of people that he.
No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
Okay, we're ready.
We're ready. Let's listen to the two child in the school. Let's listen to this.
They still don't have volume.
Thank God.
Amen. Okay. I will play it from this end. Mr. Eastman.
You the message, thank God, he prayed for God to do what I sang.
Listen to this. Let me bring it back here.
And what I'm looking at, somebody will say, I don't call it Babla.
Jimmy, get it off the line.
We are in Quingbas Town, and this is the Quingbas Town Public School. Which clan are we in? Yabayong clan.
Yeah.
Lower Pole County, number 7. For the family is a representative of this district. We have county education officer, we have district education officer. Now, let me take you in the public school. Because public school, when I say public, it's owned by the government and Liberian only. You look at the school. This is the Ministry of Education run school. The Ministry of Education running the place here. I think it's an office here. So look at the fellow Liberians. Look what they did here. All the millions of dollars given to the Ministry of Education. This is the Quingbas Town Public School. This is where the people, the young generation, the children who's supposed to take over from Waka, His Excellency, the children who's supposed to take over from Richard Kum, the children who's supposed to take over from Vice President Lawrence, they're supposed to take over. This is where the state settlement is.
Well, what is the intent of this?
No, listen.
2025. June 6, 2025. So yesterday, the church sat here. This is where the 6, right here. Jill, come. We in class. Jill, come. We in class. I said, I'm there, the teacher. The one they would listen to the teacher. My father, my mother.
So you got it.
What is the intent? What do you look to achieve by playing that?
Good. And I'm glad you said that. What we intend. You just talk about the government is supplying.
Yeah.
They're not just supplying.
Oh. But
no.
you said one of the accomplishments.
I talked about NBTC.
Is one chair, one child, right? One child, one chair, right?
Yeah.
And the building school, and the guy is telling you this is Joseph Waka. These are the generation that are taking over from
the chairs have not been distributed. The problem will be solved, folks. The problem will be solved. Okay. The problem is enormous. You got to handle them carefully, meticulously, and solve this problem from the roots.
Good.
This problem will be solved. The school you just saw, is almost in every district in the country. Okay. It's not just that school. It's not just a broadcast. It's going to be resolved.
Okay. Dr. Booty, this is your area. Education is your area. You saw the guy sitting there crying. This is a reporter. This man was anti-George Weah. He was sold. We are going 2 years into this administration. Joseph Boakai took $1.4 million to buy one bulletproof car. Do you know what $1.4 million could do with that school? That school, the man said, roughly $4,000 can get you a brand new school. For $1.4 million for the man who was supposed to ride wheelbarrow to the White House. This man took $500,000 for North Car to buy a car, $700,000 for inauguration, $1.7 million for a seat, non-voting, 0 seat on the United Nations, and they were dancing in New York, and they are wasting money, throwing money, Dillon throwing money in the air. People are dying in JFK. They don't have dialysis machines. Children are dying in the ER because there's no beds. And the president is traveling on private jets. His wife got sick and they moved her to Ghana. From Ghana, they moved her to Morocco. She got the best care. And you tell her, oh, we should wait, you're going to solve the problem? This man been in government, he was a cadet in 1966.
You're
laughing. You are laughing because I got a book here from FOIA to the city. I got it. He said 1966, he was a cadet when he was at CWA. And he graduated from the University of Liberia in 1972. So here we are. This man been in government as a cadet means that you are in training. He worked in Todman, in Talbot, in Dole, in Taylor, and then Ellen Johnson Sally. That 44 years.
On a Sawyer too.
On a Sawyer.
Because he lived right in my neighborhood, and me and Jojo them used to go play basketball.
And not only that, he was major on your SKD. Yeah. He says he was director he was minister of agriculture. He was LPMC, LPRC. I mean, there is nowhere this man have any record of success. And now he's president, and we are surprised.
Let me just say this, Mr. Gilman.
The question was for me,
Let me say this quickly. Let me just say this quickly. All right. I do not support a lot of the excesses that I have seen in this government. My purpose on here is not to defend everything that government does. It's to just say, look, in as much there are some bad things happening, the honorable thing to do is to acknowledge the good things that are happening, and the ones that you feel are not happening, provide solution, advice. That is not being done. All we see is criticism from some, especially the other two. Now, here's the thing. This particular $500,000 issue, even the Unity Party, some of the Unity Party partisans are having issues with it. And I can assure you that there are plans to get to those things. We have statute of limitation in Liberia. Unfortunately, that's one of the amendments that needs to be made on corruption. So you have to handle those things that could be expiring soon before they expires, and you get to the newer ones. As it stands, we are suspending Unity. They are suspending Unity Party partisans, and they will be on a standby, and I guarantee you they're going to court too. But we've got to take care of the ones that are running out before we get to the newer ones.
Dr. Booty, like the rice, the $6.7 million from LRA that were diverted according to the GAC in November 2024, this man is saying, leave that $7 million yet and go after the rice. Bag of rice, few bags of rice.
No, you know what you're doing now is you're trying to make it useless.
No.
We're talking about 400,000+, you say back just rice. It's not just rice.
This is $400,000 compared to $7 million.
You got to start from somewhere. You got to start from somewhere.
Now, Mr. Kamara, can I ask you please to either mute yourself when others are talking and stop interrupting?
You'll be all right. You'll be all right.
No, please, because
you better go to town going. You're not running the marathon?
Yeah, because you interrupt me. Very disrespectful.
Mr. Namin,
Mr. Eastman, I think if he keeps doing that, you need to mute him because end of the day, you can't give people a chance to talk.
Yeah,
right?
okay, gentlemen. I tell you what, let's all agree that we'll get other people a chance to talk on the after show. Okay, Mr. Nangwe, welcome to the show.
Welcome, Nangwe.
What? So you something about your ear or bunny, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys very much. It's good to be here with you. I'm sorry I was tied up, and but I'm glad to be here. Let me welcome our audience as well. I was following a little bit, but I missed most of what you said. But I'm glad to be here. Happy Sunday to you all.
Good. Dr. Budi, you were in flight.
Yeah, thank you so much, and welcome, Mr. Nangwe. Always, when I see you, I'm excited. Our resident progressive. No, listen. Mr. Kamara can come and shout. You know, normally when you're having a conversation with someone and they're trying to shout over your voice, it's because they have nothing sensible to say. They have nothing logical to say. They have nothing that is worth the pinch of salt to say, right? So basically think, if I shout loud, I will ground out whatever important things you're trying to say, so that people can't.
I got you worked out already, didn't I?
Again, you are insult.
I got you worked out already, didn't I?
I'm being serious. I'm being serious now, Mr. Kamara. Please.
I got you angry now, didn't I?
Please, no, I'm not angry. I'm not angry because.
And I'll make angry mode.
Mr. Kamara, Mr. Kamara, you don't come here with that stuff. Go ahead, Dr. Budi.
First of all, my criticism of governments in Liberia started with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. It continued during the Weir period, and it has continued. Any government that comes in Liberia and does not do what needs to be done for the Liberian people, we have a duty as Liberians to criticize what the government is doing. This government is probably, in my opinion, the most corrupt, the most ineffective that we've seen in our recent history. This president does not know what he's doing, and he's taking Liberia down a path that will be very difficult to bring us back from. He's got a bunch of individuals around him who are bent on enriching themselves to the detriment of the Liberian people. When you have someone who works at the LWSC, who should not even open his mouth when people are talking politics, coming out and saying when the speakership debacle was going on, oh yeah, let the foreign investors then stay. It tells you that this person doesn't have common sense and doesn't understand what Liberia is all about. Liberia exists on foreign investments. So if foreign investments are taken away, you wouldn't even have a job, let alone the ordinary people that you claim that you came to make their lives better will be able to get opportunities. This government has been bent on doing one thing and one thing only, and is enriching themselves. Kalibo Gonglo said once, I think a couple of weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, that he termed this elite grab. And that's exactly what this elite capture, grab, Mr. Tao, that the same thing. End of the day, these guys have come in with the intention of collecting as much of the wealth of the Liberian people as possible, so that when they leave power, they can continue to live the lifestyle that they're having. This president, under his watch, we've seen, and Mr. Gamer, you've listed the things. The car situation, the tenured position, the foreign travels that are yielding nothing for the Liberian people, the private jets, the so-called, let's go after the things that are expiring. Okay, if Mr. Kamara is going to come here and say, there is a statute of limitation, tell us. Okay, the statute of limitation is 6 years. You can't just say statute of limitation and say, statute of limitation. Anybody can say statute of limitation to divert from what is going on. Tell us we have a 6-year statute of limitation, so that's why we're going after people who committed crimes 6 years ago, right? So that's why we're going after them. But you can't, and I think it's Mr. Jah who normally says, we can walk and chew gum at the same time. You can go after the 6 million, why are you going after the 420 million at 1,000? You can't say, no, we'll only focus on 420,000, we'll leave 6 million for later on, right? There's been investigating people that they suspended at LTA for months. But GSC just found that the acting guy that they brought there, for which they suspended those people, is corrupt. So how is GSC able to find that the acting man is corrupt, but the people who they've been investigating for the last 9 months, they haven't come to a conclusion yet? Which tells me that there was never anything to investigate. This president wanted to get his cronies into government, so he came up with this nonsense of an investigation to suspend people. We know that he paid off the former governor of the Central Bank of Liberia. Why? Because he claimed there was an investigation, because he wanted to bring Samoa in, someone from Lofa County, so he tried and push someone else out. It's clear for everyone to see there's a lot of tribalism going on in this government.
Let me go, man. I just want to say one thing before I go.
No, you gotta wait. You gotta wait your turn. Mr. Namwe, here you are. We are on. President continued to use vehicles from we as administration. This man said all those cars were broken. In fact, that was the justification for a $1.4 million car. But yesterday we saw the convoy to Grand Jira were all from the previous government. How disingenuous can you be?
Yes. Look, first of all, let me welcome Mr. Kamara back. It's been a while. It's good to have you on. Mr. Tao, I think you were off a week or two ago as well. So it's good to have you back. This is really is puzzling what is happening. Governments, as we know, government is continuity. You come in, you pick up from where the previous government left off. But this whole thing of dividing, who started what, that our government is engaged in, even the immediate past government, they themselves, they have also jumped in and claiming, oh, we started this, we did it. Yeah, that's what you should have done. That's what governments do. I think it's a waste of our time. Yeah, this president, I think they should give credit to the former government where it is due. They left them assets. Obviously, some of the cars they're driving, some were carried over from the previous government. I don't think there's anything wrong with acknowledging that. I think it even makes them strong, to be that accommodating and magnanimous to give credit to the predecessors where credit is necessary. But no, they won't do that. They're so arrogant, they're so self-sufficient. They will not do that. They invented the world. Nobody did anything before them. They started this whole world. The world started with them. And I think it's foolish because everybody knows that's nonsense. It's not possible. And the previous government themselves, I don't know why they're fighting this, because people know what they did. We all know when you come into office, you initiate projects that extend way beyond your tenure. We all know that. So they're wasting our time. The UP and the CDC people, they need to really, let us give us the space. Let's focus on more substantive matters, and move our country forward. Right now, the pictures are coming out of Liberia of people falling in the streets. The suffering is still going on. It was going on during the CDC time. It is still continuing during the UP time. That's what we should be concerned with. How to bring, relief to our people. What do we do about the roads? What do we do about the economy? The president in the Southeast, that is good. I wish he didn't want to go when there was a dead body. I hope he would tour the country. He's been in office for over a year now. When is he going to meet with the people? How does he understand what the people are going through? If you don't tour the country, you have to go and see where the people live and how they live. I think he should do that. I hope it's on his budget. I wish he would do it every year, every 12 months.
Thank you.
It's good to be back on the show.
Your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Propon Wayu, and I'm calling from the state of Indiana.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, first of all, I want to welcome back Mr. Aliu Kamara, and we really miss you a lot. After you promoted government for all the time during the campaign, and you says the government you imposed on the Liberian people through your promotion is not doing great, so you ran away from the show, trying to avoid people like us calling you to remind you of all the promotion you've been making. But anyway, welcome back. We're glad to see you. I hope you can be invited on closing argument too, so you can meet some people who will really challenge you there. But I think I'm going to be a realist, so I'm going to state the facts here. I think the issue of President Boyka trying to rebury all the former leaders, I think it's a good step in the right direction. But in another world, we all know it's a diversion strategy. He knows very well his government is not doing well. There's nothing he can really boast of for the Liberian people. All the promises he made have failed. So you got to pull something out of the car that would make a Liberian people say, okay, at least you're trying to do something. We all know
I
this.
think it makes them strong, you know, to be that accommodating.
We're going to forget.
To give credit to the
Give
predecessors.
me 2 years from now.
But no, they won't do that.
Hey guys, you're pretty mute.
You know,
That's him.
So
they will not do that.
Oh.
They invented the word. No.
Oh,
Nande, we hear something that your radio or who that who?
Yeah, I think you gotta cut your TV off.
That's nonsense. It's not.
but TV
And the
is
people
not.
calling themselves, I don't know why they're fighting this, because people know what it is. We all know.
Okay, guys, everybody mute, please.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So anyway, I'm gonna commend him for the effort. It is time for us to already rebury all our former presidents, and I hope that the spirit of reconciliation will continue. Like it all angle of the country, we all need to come together as one people, and maybe from this step, we can really try to do something to bring our country back together. But in another word, we all know it just to distract from his present failure. So thank you very much.
Before you go, President Walker invited the families of the 13 people that got murdered to the signing of the book of condolences for Mrs. Doe, and they politely declined. What's your take on that?
To sign the book of condolences for the late first lady, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
I don't think that's smart to do that. If you want to reconcile the nation, I don't think come and sign the book of the woman who husband killed all your family people. I don't think that's the right way. I think he could have framed it in another way where he can bring all the families together, say we are having a national reconciliation. We all want to reconcile with one another, but not to come and sign a specific book of condolence for a specific individual. I don't think that was a smart move. That's just my opinion.
Thank you very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got a number on the line. You can join the conversation at all times. And I want to appreciate Mr. Bayou and everybody else that call in. Mr. Kamara, I have a different take. I support Joseph Walker on this. I think if we all talk about reconciliation, Mr. Eastman, myself, everybody here, we all agree in the whole country. So if the president said, you know what, this woman was the first lady, she passed. Let us begin the process from here. Let us just sign this book. Let us all see to it that yes, we have finally agreed to move on. And then the same people who are saying let us reconcile say no, we don't want to be part of this because her husband killed our parents. To me, that is not right for people who say honestly that they have passed this and they want for us to move on. Your take?
Well, I did not see it the way you putting it. I don't think that's how it was channeled. But I wanted to make this statement, Mr. Gilman. You see, one of the things that can be very frustrating is when we sit on platforms like this and say, this government is corrupt than any other government that ever existed, in my opinion. I mean, what yardstick are you using to measure that? What evidence, what facts do you have?
They
What
see
comparison?
what they are saying,
I'm telling you.
Kamara, they are saying the same yardstick you used when you were here last October when we were campaigning is the same yardstick. You remember you and Jimmy went at it. Jimmy said, please give us some numbers. Please give us some specific. When you say the government is the most corrupt since 1847, you said it's obvious, everybody can see it. Now they're using the same thing. Then you say
I don't quite remember that. But if you want to make comparative analysis on a platform like this, give us some stocks. You can't just throw words around. It frustrates me. Right. But listen, I think JMB in his own way, as weird as it may seem to some people, he wants to reconcile. The thing, what most people don't want to pay attention to is the fact that all of us on here are unique. We have different ways of getting around the same result. So his way might not be my way, but we can also look at the intent and say, I think his goal here is to reconcile the country, but we think he should do it this way and that way. Let us not just dismiss his effort. That's how I would put it.
Okay, let me go to Victor here. No, let me go to our diplomat here, Mr. Eastman.
Yeah.
I think you and I was in Monrovia just a few months ago. We were sitting at a place where we usually have our breakfast and lunch, and
Okay.
we saw
I'm
some.
going to play Neil.
I know I won't call the place name. And we sat with some people that you and I, on a normal circumstances, would not. Because some of them called themselves general, they were defense minister, they were this and that, previous government. But we sat there, we shook hands, we spoke about the future of the country, where we came from, and we went our separate ways. I thought, as painful as it is, we all lost relatives in this war. I think it would have been good for the families of the members of the coup to have shown us not us, but the new generation how forgiveness, how reconciliation, how moving forward it is by putting those painful times aside and coming together and say, you know what, let's take this thing. There was a gentleman here, I think he was the son of the former Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, State for Secretary of State, Cecil Dennis Jr., he called himself. And he was going from platform to platform, talking to folks, guys, we need to get this together. He said, it pains me, but we have to do this. And I thought there was a moment that we missed. It shows people that we are still toxic, we are still mad, and that reconciliation is almost impossible.
You know, one element of reconciliation for healing, it requires that you acknowledge the injustice that was done to some people. We know that people were beheaded in the town. They had nothing to do with fighting for power. The amount of people and some Geo people, we used to wake up and they were beheaded. There has to be an acknowledgement of those people. We know the 13 on the pole, they wouldn't even have counsel. They didn't even have a right to a lawyer. And let's say they were guilty of rampant corruption, but then you trumped it up to high treason. It's clearly that you just wanted to hang them, because when is corruption high treason? So we need to admit that these things we did were wrong. And then when you admit the wrong, the people who are hurt, they say, okay, at least you admitted that you wrong my people, then we can move on. If you try to sweep it under the rug without admitting that some wrong or injustice was done, it leaves a gaping wound. So I think for us to go about reconciliation, we should have a professional like that guy who was on the other night with me and Ja. He is a specialist in these sort of endeavors. In fact, he says one of the ways we should do it is to go to every county and erect a memorial remembering the people that passed away, that were killed. So everybody will have a sense of closure when they look at our memorial and say, yeah, my pa died in that thing, my uncle died. So we should do things if we're going to be successful. And I'm glad Mr. Kamara came in. We on the same page there, Mr. Kamara. If we're going to be successful, we need to do things professionally. We need to do things scientifically so it can actually work. If we don't do it, if you don't do something at all, especially Mr. Tao agree, in engineering, if you don't do things right, you haven't done it at all. You have to do it in a way that we want to heal. Everybody wants to heal, but we're not going, it takes a bitter pill to swallow. And you got to swallow that bitter pill before the medicine will start curing. So I think we do have a pathway to reconciliation, but it will require unbiased, guilt admittance for the wrong thing, so we can start dealing with the traumatization. Some of us are still traumatized from what happened in this war. So we need professional intervention.
Mr. Tao, We started this professional intervention by establishing the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, right? Where people came in to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, say it all. And we listened to the likes of Prince Johnson, what he did, how he killed Doe, how they exhumed his body, how he burned the body, how he took the ashes and put it in Doe. These are ones that were painful to listen to the families from the other side. We saw Prince Johnson slapping Miss Addison, killing her husband. I mean, we saw all the people, but they came out and admitted these things. And it hurt a lot of us because these were our families, our mothers, our sisters that this man said he killed personally. So we did all of that. They went all over the world. They came to Minnesota, New York, all over the place to take statement. And people met in Monrovia and admitted their guilt. And yet and still, some people are saying it's not enough. They can't forgive you. Your take.
Okay. So in the first place, the Truth and Reconciliation was a scam. Okay. Yeah. It was. Ellen was selected to be president by the U.S. instead of doing a direct war crimes court, which are going to hold directly responsible. They decided to finance this, so set it up. In the first place, the thing was, it was a scam. You go ahead, the problem that we had in Liberia that led to the war then started in 1979. People who claimed to be Congo children or Congo sympathizers were the one that is selected. You look at the team that was there. The Vredia, the so and then they put few people there. And I saw Coleman's son when he came there for him to talk about how top man killed his family and wiped them out. Almost all on the commission they were almost crying, telling him sorry. When Deacon Carla came there and said how the frontier force went into his village and wiped them out. And then how Torba send the troops and they murdered those kids at Gerda Street and put it in a mass grave. Or the Verdia and that lady, the one that they said she was some kind of lawyer. What is her name? The lady that was there. What is her name?
Pearl Brown Brew.
Huh?
Pearl Brown Brew.
All she was concerned was, are you related to West End? So you see the whole thing? The setup was wrong. That's the first thing. That is why we are sitting here today and we're saying war crimes code won't work. Because what should have happened was the people that were responsible should have been dealt with at that moment before we made the transition. That's the first thing. My brother, no matter how much monument we build, no matter how many bodies you rebury, reconciliation is a process. Mr. Eastman said something. People have to admit. And if you admit, you have to be held responsible. It's not whether they put you in jail, whether they kill you. Now, what brought the war? What brought the coup? The conditions are there. People being left out. People being exploited and few people taking the country and looting it. All these conditions are there. And you say that by going each county to go build some monument or bring something up. No. Solve that problem. Invest in the people, cut all these salaries, start investing in the country, in the infrastructure, let the youth develop, let the youth have future. Let people see that their lives are going somewhere. Then you build those monuments. Why? Then it will mean something. But you can't just go build monument and still 750 million held up by a few guys in legislature and here and there, and you build some monument and you bring somebody to talk to. No, they will say you are crazy. So we should be real here. Let's start the right way. If the Boyka government is serious, Ellen was not going to do it because she's a war criminal. She was listed in that she shouldn't have taken part in politics for 30 years. Couldn't do it because he didn't have the guts, and he just came there because he was broke as a former football player trying to recapture his old glory to put money in his pocket. So Boyka is there now with 100 years of experience. They need to make this right. You start solving the economic problem in the country that lift the people, that improve the infrastructure and the environment. Guess what? A whole bunch of this pain and everything will start going because people will see that at least we went through this. We are coming out better. We see the light. We see the future. We see hope. You can't close all that and just say building some monument or burying somebody in Nimba or in Grand Gida, in Grand Baza, and bringing some professional visiting to this other place. No, it's not going to solve it. We have to be realistic.
Thank you. Dr. Booty, I know you want to close.
Yeah,
You get to stay on your side, do your closing and everything all in one.
Thank you. I'll be a couple of minutes.
By the way, you are lucky. Jala missed you, but he came back and got you.
No, they say trying for rather Louis, not catch me too. No, but no, Mr. Jala. First of all, I do respect your opinion, even though I disagree with them. But I respect them. Quickly to Mr. Kamara, what I said in terms of this government being the most corrupt, and again, I tend to use the English language because, unfortunately for me, my parents didn't teach me my local language, so I don't know how to speak Kru, right? So I use English, and that's the one I communicate in. Opinion is what it is. It's opinion. It's how I feel. It's not necessarily grounded in fact. It's how I feel. So you can't say to me that I need to bring stats. In my opinion, that's what I said, right? It's in my assessment of the situation, right? So anyway, let's leave that. I don't want to do English class here now. Look, at the end of the day, reconciliation, and I'm glad that Mr. Kamara touched on this, that everyone is unique, right? He was talking about President Boakai, and he said everyone is unique in the way they do things. The people whose family members were slaughtered are all unique. You can't put all of them into one basket and ask them to come because you want to use them as political pawns to tell the Liberian people, see, I'm trying to reconcile the country. You can't accept my tokenistic, disrespectful attempt at fooling the Liberian people and diverting their opinion, their views from what is going on in the country. The best way to do this was to call these people behind the scene, meet them one-on-one, bring someone else to oversee that meeting, because you, Mr. Boakai, was a major in this PRC government. You benefited from the slaughter of their family members. So you can't turn around and come here. They see Prince Johnson going to somebody who he care and say, oh, let me have reconciliation conference for us. Nobody will want to see you. The person is angry at you. That's why you bring a third party in who is neutral to handle this kind of thing if he was being serious. But President Boakai is not a serious person. Clearly, he's come here because he thinks that Liberia is a retirement home. So he came to retire on the Liberian people hard-earned money. And that's what he's doing. Him and his family, his cronies, enriching themselves to the detriment of our people. And when we say these things, you have people like Mr. Jala and Mr. Kamara coming here to question purely based on tribal affiliations, right? When I say tribal, I don't mean ethnicity. Tribal, I think because they're part of the Unity Party as well. So at the end of the day, look, we will continue to speak out, unafraid that you guys might want to target us with hate messages and misrepresentations of the things that we're saying. The Liberian people need voices that can speak out for them, and we will continue to speak for them until such a time that your president can come in and do something. And I'll end on this. In July 2024, we had a change of government in the UK. So the Labour Party won elections for the first time in 12 years. It took over from the Conservatives. They made a lot of promises before the elections. As soon as they came into power, within 3 weeks of coming into power, having assessed what the Conservatives had left behind, they recognized that the Conservative did not report that there was a £20 billion hole in the public fund. They went straight to the British people and said, look, the thing we promised you before election, we won't be able to deliver on it because we've just seen that there's a 20 billion deficit that we need to address. That's how serious politicians deal with issue. You don't wait 2 years later to tell us, oh, by the way, things will not work the way we say it will work. No, once you come in, you assess the thing straight away. You know what you can and cannot deliver. And then you tell the people, look, there's one we can deliver, there's one we can't deliver. Here are what we're doing to address it. But you can't come here 2 years later after disappearing for a year yourself because you were finding it difficult to defend this government. You go get gray hair on your face, and then you come back and you won't come back, be pushing by and disturbing people while they're trying to talk. But anyway, guys, it's been a great show. I'll be back again next week. Hope to see Mr. Kamara. I hope we've not scared him away again for another 1 year hiatus. And yeah, we'll be here to push back on you, Mr. Jala, and whomever else want to spread these lies about what great things is being done in Liberia when we can go there and see for ourselves. Great show. Have a good night, guys. Me, I go and sleep now.
Good. Thank you very much. That's our analyst from the UK. Great. It's late over there. They are 4 or 5 hours ahead of us. So it's time to go to sleep. Mr. Nambe. We got one more topic I want us to discuss, and I want Mr. Kamara to opine before he leaves. I know he left. He was in a boxer. He went and changed to a real pants. We saw your behind. We said it's all right. But listen, this one is serious. I think we discuss it on other platform, but I want everybody to chime in, and we should discuss it as often as we can because somebody is a victim. And they may be scared to come forward. But the more we talk about this, the more it's going to help our folks. And this one is this Liberian-born immigration officer that been scamming his own people in the diaspora, in where you guys live in the Delaware Valley area, Washington, D.C. area. He was charged with bribery, okay? A Liberian-born U.S. immigration officer by the name of Amara Dukley, 43, a naturalized U.S. citizen originally from Liberia and resident of Parkside, Delaware County, Pennsylvania, was formally charged Thursday with bribery of a public official by a U.S. attorney. The criminal complaint filed by the federal government says that the young man was charging using his badge, his status as an immigration officer, to tell the folks in the Liberian community and the African community that he could help them change their status, change everything. And when the FBI set up a sting, the FBI came in as a terrorist. And they met with him. They said, listen, the guy said, I have a terrorist charge on my immigration. I want to be a U.S. citizen. Can you help me remove the terrorism charge? And he said, yes. He charged $9,000 US. And then right there, the FBI, it was an undercover sting, and they arrested him. So here we are, Mr. Nangme. This is serious. This is what we call black on black crime. This is African on African crime, Liberian on Liberian crime. How disgusting this is for desperate people like us, people trying to make it. And a man who legitimately work in that office. He's not fake. He's legitimate work in the office. Knows the American has a system. You can't do this, but took money from these folks. People are showing up, but some people are scared to show up. This is how desperate the situation and how nasty it is.
Yeah, I mean, this story is very unfortunate all around. These gentlemen, from the reporting, it looks like he preyed on his own people. When he should have, tried to help his people. And so a lot of people got hurt in the process from the reporting. And he himself, I think he's in a whole lot of trouble from the reporting as well. He's a veteran. I'm sure he may have honorably, been discharged from service. So I think his benefits are on the line. And so I don't know how he could have done this. The reporting is apparently he was under some kind of, he was stressed financially. So it's just unfortunate. It's really very unfortunate. I don't know what to say about it. I like to probably offer prayers for him, but again, I think this is something that could have been avoided because this is something he did over a period of time. It was not an accident, so this is something that was well premeditated. He thought about it, and and it's very unfortunate. But before I pass it on, I know Mr. Kamara will come on. I came back here feeling very excited for him. I thought, he took time off, because he has some remorse born out of compunction for the bad goods that he's been selling us here for the past months, and realizing the feeling here. Yeah, he will come back here, very repentant because I thought he went to search the deep inner recesses of his soul and come back and tell us, my poor, I'm sorry. And he's sitting down here, he's talking about, big government corrupt, give you what? What kind of data you want? What about the press reporting you read of every day? And this president finally coming around to suspending people after over 12 months in office.
18 months.
The mayor of the city of Monrovia is still there. He's part of the reporting. The MCSA teacher, the MCSA superintendent was being reported on for months. for months until he finally crawled to bringing himself to suspend him. LTA, you yourself here, you expressed your own disgust over what happened at the LTA, knowing very well that the current commissioner was a part of the team that was audited, which led to their removal of some of the members. But yet the president promoted this man. And now all of a sudden he got his come to Jesus moment after this man had practically taken everything he wanted. And you come back here, and I'm really disappointed. But let me leave it with you. Go ahead, hang yourself, say what you got to say. I'm just.
Mr. Kamara, I'm coming
Yes,
to you.
sir.
I'm coming to you, Mr. Eastman. This young man praying on his own people, and I will say this to you: in the report, the Fed says, obviously, and this I can relate to because we all live. Liberians, we love to live beyond our means. They say his mortgage was late. He was behind with his mortgage. He had over $30,000 in credit card debt. I mean, he's living large. So, I mean, I'm not trying to justify, but these are some of the reasons listed by the FBI when they did a background check, that this man was living so large that criminality was his way out. Since
Well,
2014, the FBI was tracking him.
Mr. Gaiman, when you are inherently corrupt, or when you have the wrong convictions and your values are in the wrong places, that's when you make those kind of decisions. I've been in this country for a number of years. I could have bought a more expensive house, $1 million house, but I said no. I would just keep in my small house, so I wouldn't have to worry about a whole lot of mortgage payment. But when you know very well you want to live above your income, there's certain inherently wrong with you, because that we can call greed, we can call it all different psychological names. But the fact of the matter is, you know very well you can't do it and you want to do it, so you're craving something. And for the Liberian man, say the monkey can't leave a black hand behind. You think I see nonsense they'll be doing in Liberia and getting away with, because this is what goes on. The compromise of ethics, the bending of the rules, the kickbacks and the backdoor and the bribes is typical. So he probably felt that he helping people in a in such an environment, especially he's on the law side. He's a law enforcer. The man's a law in law enforcement, and you're taking huge bribes. They need to lock him up and slam the key and throw it away. When he served his term, let him deport him. I don't have time for. I live poor. I don't. And you want to live rich. So if you can't do the time, then you shouldn't do the crime. I don't feel no remorse for this guy, because he's probably duped some people. And what he fails to realize, Liberian people don't sit down. They will be the same one to run them up behind you, and you will not know what happened to you. So I wouldn't even say it's unfortunate. I said, my man, you need to go and review your values, and reevaluate them, because this is what led you down this road. Now, none of us are perfect, and we all have made some terrible errors and mistakes, but we had to pay the crime. And so that's what happens. So I think Liberians should be aware that these unscrupulous individuals are everywhere, and do not get caught up in the web, because it could be very harmful. Those people who we try to help now, their whole stay in America may be compromised, but I take no pity on him. I'm sorry, I just can't.
Mr. Tao,
Yes, sir.
here is when I came to the United States way back. The white folks who were my godparents, they told me one thing. They said, if you are looking for help, and the guy or the girl who will help you start with, I'm a good Christian, I will help you, say, run as fast as you can. Same thing when the men tell you, listen, I'm a good Muslim, We don't do this kind of thing. Just run. Here is a man in the Liberian community telling them, I feel your plight. I was once an immigrant. I know what you're going through. I will help you. I will promote your paper. Whatever you want, I will expedite it. So build the confidence of these folks. The FBI said they've been tracking since 2014, 11 years. Your take.
Okay. So in the first place, I didn't know anything about the story till you just mentioned it. What I am really concerned about, one area is that did he actually really help anyone?
No.
Did any of the things, I mean, some of the problems that some of these people had, because every system, people can be helped. Okay? They can be helped legally, not in any illegal way. There are people who actually have real problems and they don't know who to talk to. And it's possible that they can talk to somebody. So my question here is that some of the people he dealt with, it said that any of the problem was in a way that they could actually be helped. So because, and if that was the case since 2014, if he was actually just lying, some kind of commotion should have come, or something somebody would have challenged him, maybe to a face fight, maybe to some kind of argument. So we have to listen for that, because it's possible that some of the help that he gave, maybe in the beginning, were actual real help, were actual stuff that were legal, that he can just go and make recommendations and show stuff and they help them. And it's possible that when he saw that he could make money, and these kind of cases that were the legal ones, once they were far and few in between, then he started to get dangerous by not going into areas that he had no control, that were wrong, that he couldn't even help.
According to the FBI here, he was an officer in charge of fraud detection.
Okay.
So he had no access to augmenting, expediting. That he had no access to that, but that's why he was selling.
So then how did he run something from 2014 and just taking money from people?
Oh yes,
they just left him.
Oh yes. You know how they.
So and then he went to people that were so vulnerable that he took advantage of his own people. As you know, that when he take the money from them, if they talk, it will get in trouble, so they just keep quiet.
Go to jail. That's fraud.
Because we had a gentleman by the name of Siafa Bright. I think he's a lawyer himself. He said when these things happen, obviously you can't complain because you yourself, you are part of the criminal cartel. So both of you be charged. So most of them didn't come forward. But now, some people just got fed up and say, you know what, let us all go to jail. But we're not going to. At least I will plead, but you're going to do this, and this is what they came to.
If this is the case, then he really, really just took his own people that were really at their weakest, people that were really trying to find a way to resolve something, and he just took advantage of them. So this guy committed a lot of crime actually against his own people, because he found people that he knew that were very vulnerable, that didn't have a voice, that could not speak out, and he just took advantage of them. And that is really bad. And for what? So that you can go and pay for a house that you can't afford, so that you can drive a vehicle that you shouldn't be driving, or live a lifestyle and go to a restaurant that you shouldn't even be going to. So yeah, if that is really the case, then because that's what these things are really used for most of the time, just for petty stuff, just for everyday like lifestyle, pretty much.
Mr. Kamara, I mean, you just came from Africa, like I did a few months ago. You can't tell me when you get to the airport in Liberia that this thing doesn't go through your mind that our people are so corrupt that any terrorist could get a few dollars to put their bags on. So it's like you fly at your own rate. I know it's terrible, but look what this guy, the FBI said the guy came in, the FBI gentleman posted as a terrorist and said, I want to be citizen, but the terrorist thing is on my record. Can you remove it so I can become a citizen? He said, yes. Charge a guy $9,000. If this was at the airport in Liberia, this man would have put whatever he wanted on. It's embarrassing. It's scary.
Yeah, first of all, let me just say something to the guy who ran away. Uh, what serious individual can come to a discourse on the basis of mere feelings? How do you discuss on how you feel? You know. And by the way, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission were not comprised of Congo people. That's not the truth. There might be one or two on there. Massa Washington Gola from Bowman County, Alhaji Kone, Madingo man from Nimba County.
We had a diverse group there.
Okay, I can name several others. So the just say, oh, you know. But anyway, you know, Mr. Gilman, I think when people are like this, I don't know how to describe this guy, like Mr. Tao. I don't really have the whole story because I didn't get it. I'm just not getting it from you. But in any event, anyone who would try to exploit a system that actually made them. Imagine comparing yourself being an immigration officer in the United States and being an immigration officer in Liberia. The fact that you are serving in the United States immigration, your life has changed almost permanently for the better. If you're not still content, you want more of what you didn't earn, then I guess whatever you find, then it is what it is. I mean, let them lock him up, like Mr. Eastman said, throw away the keys. That's all I can say.
Let's get to the closing here. Mr. Nambe, this is unfortunate. I mean, the way the FBI laid the case. I actually put the article in our chat room. If you're there, you will see it. I mean, it's so detailed that they are even asking other folks who are victim and afraid to come forward. To come forward. People are afraid because it's a double-edged sword. You come forth, and now you are part of the dragnet. Or just stay quiet. These people talk about 5,000, 9,000, 3,000. I mean, can you imagine in our neighborhood where things are tight, okay? We can barely make ends meet to come up with 3,000, 1,005, 5,000, 9,000. It's like your entire life saving or pay in installment. This is terrible, but you're closing.
Yeah. Again, I'm happy I made it here, and again, regret that I joined you guys late, but I'm glad at least I made it. Yeah, I will close on this, gentleman. The reporting is that they are now beginning to look, into the Liberian community, to see if there may be a case for people who may have fraudulently benefited from the immigration system. And again, like I said earlier, this is very unfortunate all around. The times we're in now in America, you don't want to be on the radar of this government for any reason whatsoever, because they're looking for any excuse, to upend your life, deport you or whatever it is. And now the Liberian community is now going to be on their radar, and something which we didn't want. So I hope that this thing doesn't pull a lot of other people in, and I feel for those people who may have already been affected. I hope that they will come out on the other end, being made whole. But the lesson to learn from this is, we do this a lot in Liberia. There is a legal way, and I think it's all because of so many failures that our people have faced using the legal system to do anything in Liberia. You find that there is a whole formal and legal way to get something done, but there's always the informal and shortcut, and many people have benefited from that in Liberia. And so it has become a way of life for most of us. You rather do it in in the corner, or the illegal way to get it done. And that system, I would discourage my compatriots from extending that over here. It's different over here. At least these people, they are corrupt. I mean, there's corruption here, but they really try the best they can, to function within the confines of the rule of the law. And so if you have a case here with immigration, I urge you to, If you want to get an immigration lawyer, yes, do so. But please don't go and meet someone on the street corner who will be promising you heaven, and because chances are you will get found out eventually, and you would not like the outcome. So I hope that our people they pay attention to these kinds of things, and avoid all these little shortcuts and go through the process. But thank you again for the time, Mr. Kamara. Welcome back. It's good to have had you back on the show.
Mr. Kamara, I know you have to go. I think Trump got a new thing. If we're going to deport you, you got no choice. We will send you to either South Sudan or Djibouti. We don't have to send you back to your country.
By the way, Jerome, before I forget, I read, I'm sure you got me. I've not now have picked this up, but apparently the U.S. government is arranging with Liberia now as a third country. They have these countries where people are deported to. I think Liberia has now been approached to help take some of these people in.
Listen, I made this clear the last time, maybe 6 months ago, and people were laughing at me. Listen, the prison industry in this country is one of the richest industries, and Florida is the king. Okay, I think the state of Florida get like $100 a day per head. Multiply that over thousands of people. These people are making tens of millions of dollars annually. So if I build a prison in Grand Gita, way out there, where nobody, they bring people from other countries there, and we guarding them, and we creating jobs, who cares? Okay, these people are not violent criminals. These people are illegal people that came here. Their paper expires. Some of them don't have any paper.
Mr. Gima, let me close because I think you're talking another type of tight, Tony.
There you go. You from Joseph Baga. You are not creating no job. I'm giving you idea how to create job. I'm in Florida. I know how we make money.
He has not changed one bit.
They may have not. You have not created one job. Even you can't go home because you got no job there. You can't even drive the wheelbarrow the president said you were going to take to the White House. Go ahead, close.
Yeah. Listen, it has been great seeing you guys again. It's been a long time since we had a fight. I come in here bringing a fight. I know I'm coming here to fight. So people should be ready for me when I come in. That's what it's about. The audience can get excited when I know Aliyah is back on the show because I bring that fight. You know what I mean?
You know what, Aliyah, I'm trying to break it, but my son really, really likes you. He likes you on the show.
You see that?
I think he's going to be excited to know you came back. I'm being honest.
Yeah, they like to see that somebody got to turn it off. Yeah. But it would be an egregious. I would say I wouldn't call it a mistake, but I think it would be evil on the part of Liberia to even accept such an offer, because these people come from societies where they at least have electricity and running water. Their difficulties is not like ours. We can barely contain malaria. You're just calling people to go to your country and die because you can't offer them anything. Absolutely nothing you can offer them. You can't offer them security. You can't offer them health. You can't even offer them good food. So why would you accept something like that in the first place? And by the way, why would you accept someone dumping people that they don't want into your own country? What is your country now? Dump site? But anyways, that's a whole different issue. But what I want to say to my audience today is great interacting with you guys again, and be aware. Do not be distracted. Liberia is moving forward. If we used to travel through St. Petro to get to Grand Gita, Maryland, and Sino and Grand Cru before, we don't do it anymore. We drive straight through those counties. Whether or not they're concrete pavements, or whether or not they're quota, whether or not they're dust roads, economic activities are going on. So we had to start from somewhere. In order for you to quota a road, you have to first grade that road. In the rural area, this time of the year, for us in Monrovia, we're not in the heat of the height of the rainy season yet. But in those places, we're in the height of the rainy season. In Maryland, Santa, Grand Cru, River says you're in the height of the rainy season. If people can apply those places easily at this time of the year, something is being done. If the politician, the pundits, and the propagandists want to make you believe that Joseph Boga would have came to Liberia, roads that Tubman built way back so many years ago that never been paved, that Joseph Boga would have paved them in 17 months. And they want to convince you that because that is not done in 17 months, it means that Joseph Boga doesn't know what he's doing. He's been in government for 100 years. I beg your indulgence. I beg your pardon. Don't listen to that kind of argument because it is completely unrealistic. We have a country now where the rule of law now is beginning to spot out. And people now are beginning to face the law. They begin to be concerned about the law. They're getting to realize that the law can also bite them regardless of their economic, social, or whatever status. So we are getting somewhere. Do we still have a long way to go? Now I'm telling you, we do have a long way to go, regardless of who we're going to be president. Even if Mr. Nangbe's Azana was going to be president, we will still be right here where we are right now because first, things has to be reformatted. Things have to be reorganized, rearranged, restructured. Some other things that were already in place that needed to go ahead had to go ahead first. Like, for instance, the little streets in Monrovia and its surrounding, the Kakata Magibi County where I also grew up. There were no pavement on any of the streets besides the main street that passing through and going to Banga and Ganta. As we speak, right now, something is being done with the little meager we have, and let us appreciate that. And I don't mind you pushing the government to do better, to do more. Just do it with sincerity and honesty. Thank you very much, guys.
Mr. Tao, here is I want to call Trump to give Kamara a choice, either Djibouti or South Sudan. Go ahead, Tao.
You know, for me, I come to this program, have no commitment to any individual, even my own close friend that I grew up with in various government or relatives, or I don't belong to no party. But what I see here is that when people, and since I've been coming here, I have close friends who and relatives that in the government, past and present, that don't talk to me because they think I should come here for me to represent their interest or the interest of whatever party or group or tribe that they associated with. No, I come here in the name of Liberia and Africa because I see most of the stuff we discuss here is just the symptoms. So that is what I would say. But and the reason that I don't do that is so I don't end up like guys like Kamara. And this is the same guy that I came here in December 2023, 2024. We sat here and all of the same things we pointed out about George Weah. And this guy did not come up with being realistic and all this stuff. What do you mean by being realistic? What we are pointing is real. 22, why are you talking about law and order is not in place? Where is the $22 million that was stolen in the name of road? That somebody came there and said, okay, I'm responsible. Then they say, we'll forgive you. Is that law and order? Where is your president when the tenure position that he oversaw Honor Ellie? That is not that I'm in favor of tenure position or anything. But you say that is the legal way. And he came over there removing everybody. So when the Supreme Court ruled, the highest court ruled that you can't touch those people, he found cockroach way to suspend them, override the court, and then put all kinds of people in there. Where is the same president on the inauguration day when they're admitting that we share 5,000? And he has not said anything about it. Where is the president when you have LSC, C, and GSC? All these people are there, financial intelligence, and then he go ahead to steal money, create another group called asset recovery that already have, that don't even have the ability and the infrastructure to move 20 million or so in there so that they can share it. Where's this president that lied that all the vehicles that we had left were all gone, only for them to siphon off money and for them to have the same vehicle? So don't come here and say this kind of stuff. At least have some decency for the Liberian people. Just stop trying to have beyond party or affiliation or group, man. Come on, huh? Yeah, don't do this. Let us come here for us to really be honest. That is a problem that we have. We lack integrity because when we think that we belong to this group or to this other group, and nobody cares about Liberia. All of us that sit on this platform, I've been here long enough. We keep saying that we want for something to change in Liberia. What it takes for something to change in Liberia, the steps that you will have to take, the things that you have to do, you go head-on collision with countries like the United States, with the French, with the so-called European groups, with the Chinese, with the Arabs. Are we willing for us to do that? You see it happening in the Sahel region. You are living through one. In order for you to get your country back, so you can actually use your own resources and put it on track, they will be sitting in Washington, D.C., threatening to kill you. It don't mean that it will happen. That shouldn't even be fear. Because just like Marcus Garvey said, the world is run on bluff. We saw it in the Iran and Israel war just now. One person had Iron Dome. Nobody can touch it. You saw it. So the bluff, and then we scare. But you see the young men in the Sahel, so this is what we are. Sometimes we come here, somebody said we should be balanced. I didn't come here for me to be balanced, so that to be balanced that I should start saying that Bouaka is succeeding. What is he succeeding in? Nothing. Really, if you weigh what he's supposed to be doing first, we have built more small roads more than him. I was in Liberia most of the time. I don't know where. And do you know why most of them go for that road fund? Because the road fund is not part of the budget. The road fund is actually money that is raised and is actually available. So they're trying to see that money. And where I was there, I know some of the people that he gave contract to, they were siphoning money left and right. That is why they all go for the so-called road fund. And when they're done, you don't see no real result. So I just wanted to say that to debunk to the Liberian people that you shouldn't come here after running away and you talk because some guy called here and say we don't balance stuff, then you can run here and kind of fool people. But look, the pressing group that Jerome is talking about, because whenever the Americans, the British, the Chinese, whoever, when they take a stand, there is a reason. All of a sudden, Trump issued this list that he's going to create visa ban. There are two things on that list that he pressured these nations on. One is for them to take those. They themselves said it, that these people are dangerous prisoners. Go and look at Marco Rubio, that they are dangerous criminals that want to get them far away from America as possible so that they don't have the chance to come back. But that is a lie. This is the thing here. The prison lobbyists, or whatever you call them, they were one of the bigger financiers of Trump. After they privatized the prison and made so much money here, they're trying to make even more. That's the corruption in the system. They want to send them to a country where they will pay 10 cents for them a day so that they then build the American public thousands of dollars a month so that they siphon all the money. So they use that to pressure countries that, and then that's one of the stuff. And the next one is you should cut back. You're dealing with China. China came in, it's not whether they're good or bad, they're doing business with you. Come to and give us a deal and say, okay, look, they build you a dam and you give them this iron ore mine. Look at what happened here. We can do this, train these people. No. What did they bring you? Amen. African. Do you know that they already signed a security agreement before they could remove Langley? Langley was not just removed, he did what he was supposed to do. They signed a security pact already with Liberia, with Ghana, with all these people. That is why they bring you. So those are the two demands that they have on you. So that's what's going on. But look, what we are discussing is symptoms. We need to address the real issues. We have problem. And the problem is that we are trying to use other people's prescription that doesn't work for us. This system of government, the structure was put together for you at the Berlin conference to make sure to control you. I wish that the Buddha were here, he said it was not imposed. Somebody brought something to you, a gun in their hands and put it in place for what? Almost 300 years. And then when they're leaving, the gun is in their hand and they just replace you with them. I mean, them with you. And it's so this is where we are. But look, we are not ready. No, let me just learn because this stuff is serious.
Yeah, thank God, man. Learn.
We are not ready.
We got
for
coming
the
on.
Liberian issue. We must go ahead and learn about who we are. Africans, we are a very good people. We are from a good, proud group of people, and we are actually capable. No one else is greater than look at just your life. as black people or African descendants. Wherever they block you in this world, whenever they take the stuff up, you come and you take over. You take over. Everybody know who you are because they know your history. Your history, not just about a date and somebody, is the prescription. It is the it lay out techniques and strategies on how to deal with people and how to compete. They tell us that we should forget about it. It's not good enough. Follow theirs. This is where we are. Until we can change this, we can sit here. You can go to any kind of school. The education we have is all wrong. It doesn't work for us.
Thank you.
Thank you, my man.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Eastman, before you take us out real quick, your name and where you calling from?
Too low.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, I followed the discussion, especially I was interested in the issue of reconciliation. I did listen to the various points of view articulated by your panelists. To my mind, there has to be a starting point. It may be a starting point that may not be comprehensive, but my suggestion is that whatever points that have been advanced today from this platform should be reduced to recommendations. Because I keep asking myself, what are the objectives of each discussions you have on your platforms? Is it just talking for talking's sake? Now we have a national issue ongoing, and some folks have criticized that which has started. But to my mind, it should not stay at that point. Whatever views have been articulated, reduce your platform's views to specific recommendations and submit those recommendations to the actors in Liberia, the president. For instance, you're calling for a comprehensive, objective reconciliation plan. I do know that recently barriers were made. The late President Doles was given a state barrier, and there's a contemplation of reburying President Talbert. But it goes beyond that. There are other victims. So there should be a comprehensive way to approach it. But we must reduce our statements to specific recommendations submitted to the actors that we have in Liberia. That's the office of the president. One of the other areas of interest to me, and I wish I had had the opportunity to be on your panel through Jimmy Eastman, Mr. Eastman. I do know Eastman. I do know Mr. Gilman. I encountered him once on a flight. It's the rural areas. That's my passion. The government is centralized in Monrovia. All of the actors are in Monrovia, and the rural area is abjectly neglected. We must go beyond what is centered in Monrovia and focus on other parts of the country so that we will have an integrated development. So I do hope one day I will have the opportunity to have a discussion with you, the panelists there, the operator of your platform, so that we will look at these areas that have been neglected. Because on the books, we have good plans. President Talbert had an integrated rural development plan. There should be a continuity. Should be a flashback and see what is there on the books that we need to incorporate in what's going on today, so that we will have a comprehensive rural development plan that really impact the lives of the people in the rural area as well.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I was listening to you. Unfortunately, I fell asleep. I just got up and you were still on, so I thought to call.
Thank you very much. We invite you, Mr. Johnson. Thank you. Mr. Eastman, take us out.
Yeah, one thing, Tom, thank you for calling. I did send you an invite. If you look in your messenger, you will see it. But we'll do a better job next week. And you know, we'll need to take that in advisory, because seriously, our conversations do yield direct recommendations to the government. And then that means we're not just talking, but we're presenting something. I think that's a very good point. And one thing we'll never forget about, you know, Aliu, thank you too. You know who you can remind me of? Siafa, that guy who's the city mayor. That crowd. But next week we'll be here, and one thing we will never change, and that is we are all Liberians.
We are Liberian.